when it comes to negotiations, it's very important that you have training. I'm sure your employer will give you some training on how to negotiate with your customers. If not, there are a ton of resources available online for you. And one of them, as I already mentioned in another video clip, this company called Karrass, they are at least advertising themselves to be the world leader in negotiating programs. And if you look into some of their suggestions, they say, hey, you know what, in most negotiations, both sides move from their original positions. That means you have to change from your position and they also have to change from their position. You both cannot hold on to your positions. Okay, so you have to come to a common agreement. Each side compromised, so that's a key word, by making some concessions to reach an agreement. Careful concessions help guide you towards a mutually satisfying, that is what we call win-win. You are winning and they are also winning. Here are a few things to keep in mind. So when you are going to give them a concession, never give a concession without obtaining one in return. So you are going to reduce the price by 5%. Yes, you are okay with that. So that's a concession you give. But then they have to increase the agreement from 1 year to a 2-year term. That way you get a much longer commitment from the other person. So you are giving one concession and you are getting back in another. And that's what here we are saying. Less price you are willing to give, but they have to buy it in bulk so that you can make the money on the quantity, if not on the number of amount that you are able to sell right now. Concessions that are poorly made can serve to further separate the parties. If you just keep on giving away all the benefits and all the extra accessories, then the other person will think, oh, this person doesn't have any strategy at all when it comes to negotiating with me. So I will keep asking more and more. And at a point, you may feel like you have already given a lot and still they are asking for more. So you may feel so disappointed and you may want to move away from the conversation. They feel like you all of a sudden stop giving them concessions, so they want to move away from the negotiation. In that case, it will be a failure. So you don't want to give too many concessions. You have to keep track of everything. So write it down, write each and everything down one after the other so that you know exactly where you stand and where they stand and how many concessions you have given and how many concessions the other party has given. Never lose track of how many concessions you have made. So you have to keep a written record. That's what I just said. And also, flexibility is like money in a checking account. Do not use up your bank account of flexibility. Every concession should bring you closer to some goal. So when you are giving concession, it has to make sure that you are going towards the goal of closing the sale. They just keep on taking all the concessions, and at the end, if they say they are not going to sign the contract, that means it's not worth your time, right? So you have to think in terms of social capital. That is, what type of relationship you want to have with this customer down the road. So that is what we call the social capital, and how you will be able to further your interests as well as further the customer's interests. And also, don't feel constrained to stick with the concession on a specific issue. The whole agreement is more important than the individual issues. So there are, let us say they are buying 10 different products from your company. They buy the computer, they buy the keyboard, they buy the mouse, they buy something else. Now you can give concessions on a couple of them or maybe 3 or 4 of them because you are thinking about the whole sale, not just that individual sale. So there may be some losses that you have to take here and there. That is okay. So that's the whole point here. The whole sale is greater than the sum of the parts, okay? And you have to have the big picture in mind. So that is how I interpret that. Now, this is not given in the book. I found it elsewhere. And I also want to show you that there are these type of very world-renowned programs. I came across this company on an airline flight in one of those magazines over there. So I encourage you to go to this website, karrass.com. Maybe we should do that right now. So let me go here and type karrass.com. And once you go there, you can see that they frequently have various negotiation techniques and tactics, workshops and conferences. And you can see that they have worked with a whole bunch of people and helping those managers and salespeople make sales and things like that. Okay, and negotiation is a very important technique that you have to learn so that you can become more effective. And some of their workshops are in the range of $5,000, $10,000, like that. So down the road you may be able to make use of some of these kind of workshops. And there is another institute called Dale Carnegie Institute, and this is a very famous institute that also provides a whole bunch of training and seminars and workshops and various types of courses for different people. And if you go here, you can see they have sales training for people. I'm sure they also have various types of other courses where you will become a much effective salesperson or an employee for your organization. So these are all some important useful resources that I want you to be aware of as you get started in your career. Okay, so in the next video clip we will shortly talk about selling university. That is, when you come across objections in your interview, how are you going to deal with it? Interview is also a presentation, and nobody is going to give you the job without asking questions. So they will ask questions. They are nothing but objections. Okay, I will see you in the next video.